Okay, so I'm installing this Primus or Tekonsha brake controller I got off Amazon. And it's basically just 4 wires you got to connect. So it's a 2016 Chevrolet Colorado I have, and I'm going to mount it down here so that I can hit the manual trailer brakes if I need to, like going down a hill or whatever. So I'm going to have to probably drill a hole back in there, mount this clip onto here so I can mount it there, and then run the harness wires through there. I'm gonna have to take the center console out probably and set it up on here first, run the wires through, get my other wires. I've got some extra wires that I'm gonna run and connect to that, kind of up and underneath the dash here and then into there. I'm gonna connect that at that end. And then I was looking online, it was really hard to find, but I found a guy who had a video that showed if you got a 2016 Chevrolet Colorado or similar generation truck that has the trailer towing package, which means you have the trailering button. There is actually factory wiring for the trailer brake controller right here. It's wrapped up. I just clipped off there was a tie wrap or whatever around there. I just clipped it off, and the wires are closed off, heat shrinked, and pigtailed right up here. So I got to take this tape off here, expose them, bring them out so I can connect my wiring to that. I'm probably gonna need one more wire. I got 3 wires here. I'll have to get one more wire. And then what I'll do is I'll put some heat shrink tubing on the wires, connect them, solder them, run the wiring, take the dash out, take the center console out, run the wires over here, attach the where's it? Attach the this here, screw that up. Sorry about all the shaky camera action here, but attach that there so that is nice and central, so I can still use these ports, and then it's ready to go. And then this is one-handed, so this just comes out of here. Come on. You take one clip off and the other one clips on. So yeah, so that way I can mount that, get the wiring harness through the back, solder the other ends of this wire onto here with this in there. Obviously I'm going to do heat shrink tubing so that I have something to cover the bare wires, because I'm going to solder them together on each end to the factory wires. And I'll heat shrink tube that to cover the bare wires, use electrician's tape if I need to, make sure it's all strapped up underneath so it's not going to be loose or rattling, and then reinstall everything and install the controller into the clip. So that'll just clip into place underneath there. I'll have a nice view of the readout here, and you can adjust it. You can hit the button if you need to and adjust the brakes and whatever accordingly. And then if you need to do manual override, you can just hit your trailer brakes just like that if you need to. So yeah, I've never actually had ever used trailer brakes before, so this will be my first. I got a 2016 Chevrolet Colorado, as you can see, nice and dirty. And I typically just pull this 6x12 cargo trailer to work, utility trailer. And so I'll do like an hour and a bit in each direction, going to and from work each day with that. And it doesn't have trailer brakes, so I've never had to use trailer brakes. So this is new, so I got all my stuff ready to go. This panel, it was a little tricky kind of trying to figure out how to get this out. So with this in here, I'll show you what this looks like. I couldn't find anything on YouTube. It's really hard to find. Then I found one guy who kind of showed it briefly what it looked like. And so this right here actually pushes down into here, and I was trying to pull it apart. I'm like, how the heck do you get this out, right? So what you actually do is you actually just pull it up, and these clips here are down in there or wherever, somewhere in there, and you just pull this down and pull this up carefully, you know, like don't reef on it, but just pull it up, and eventually it'll just pop out, and then you can pop the rest of them out, and then it actually just pulls out like that, because you've got these 2 clips here that go in So once you know how these work, you know, they just pulls up. You get all these ones on the bottom fold up, and then you just pull it out. And the same thing reverse, to put it back in, you put it in, and then you push down all the clips until you get it lined up perfectly in place. So yeah, I hope that helps. I may do some little updates as I go here for this video or whatever, but that's the basics of installing a trailer brake controller in a 2016 or similar generation Chevy Colorado. I just couldn't see any videos online that had this, so I thought I'd just do a quick video and share this. So thanks for watching. Okay, so just a little update here. As you can see, I got the tape off, twisted all off pretty well. Doing this with one hand, so okay. So there, the tape's off, and we have wrapped up in a pigtail here all 4 wires to match our harness wires. So we got the blue matches, we got the red, we got the black. It's a very small black wire, but it is black wire nonetheless. And then we've got a white with a blue line on it, but I'm sure that goes to that. So this is specifically set aside because this truck has a trailering tow package. So it's all there ready to go, which is so nice to know. Because when I first started opening this, I'm like, where is it? I don't see it. So I went online and I'm like looking on YouTube, and it's so hard to find anyone that has any information on this online. So that's why I'm making this video, so that hopefully this helps someone out there who has a similar truck to mine who wants to install a trailering brake controller themselves. So DIY, baby, that's where it's at. Okay, so I got my wires ready, all 4 wires. I got the red, blue, and black, and I got a light blue to use for the white wire. And now I'm gonna twist them all up so they're all braided. There you go. Done. Okay, so I haven't got the center console out yet, but I thought I'd have a go at this. Hard to do with one hand. There we go. Yeah, there's no wire. Oh yeah, there's a wire. Okay, I'm gonna have to do this two-handed, so I'll show you after I've got them stripped and ready to go. Okay, so it's a good metaphor for your working towards your end result. You get everything ready, you know what your end result looks like, and you work your way backwards. So got all the heat shrink tubes on here. Heat shrink on there, heat shrink on there. I'm not gonna heat it up until I'm ready to close it up. But for now, what I'm doing next is connecting these wires. I'm gonna solder them together. I've got my solder and my flux to make it easier. I'm just gonna quickly torch them so they just solder fast. Connect those together, and then I'll run the heat shrink tubing over each wire, heat that so they shrink, and then I'll run this one over the final bunch, sealing it all up nicely and cleanly. Okay, so here's the connector. I got the grommet on there ready to go. Got the wiring. Hopefully this isn't too big to go through the hole I got to drill. Probably will be. Oops. Yeah, so I might have done this in the wrong order. In hindsight, I probably should have put that through the center console first, and then attach this after. That was not too bright in hindsight. So I have to slide this over to cover the whole shebang, or just leave it exposed, whatever. Doesn't matter. So yeah, update coming in a second. Okay, so update. Here I'm taking the console apart and disassembling it to try to get access here, and then I realized, I watched this guy online, he's like, okay, if you just pull this out first, there are 6 clips on there. So basically you just pull that out and you just keep pulling on it and tugging on it. You might need to get a pry bar in there just to kind of get it started, but once you got your fingers kind of underneath on this piece, this little tray, it will pop out, but you just gotta reef on it, and eventually it'll go pop, and it'll pop out really hard and fast. And then, so that's out. And then this has two little screws like that were right there and right there. Reef on that, pull that out, and take out these two screws, pull it forward, and I can drill a hole in here now finally and get my wiring harness through for the brake controller that I'm going to, the Tekonsha that I'm going to mount onto the underside of this. So yeah, I'll get that all pieced together and drill the hole where it's supposed to be. Well, I might be able to go up through here. Yeah, so I might be able to take the, drill the hole, run the wire up here, and back over here, possibly through there, underneath the, sorry for all the jerky camera moment, but camera movement, run the wire over there, and then connect it to the brake harness down there, the wiring. So yeah, I'll do an update here shortly. Okay, so I noticed that since I have all the bolts off, I just kind of pulled back on this and the whole thing moved back. And I was able to take a closer look in behind here. I don't know if I can get in there with my camera, but there is, it's actually just plastic back here. Like I don't think there's any metal or wires or anything. Yeah, it's just plastic. I was feeling it, so I'm just gonna drill straight through there. And now that I got a gap here, I can get the wires in there and run them in behind, and then up, hidden, obviously, around and then over there. Yeah. So I'm gonna find the center point here, mark it, and then drill a hole right through everything. And then I'll get my wiring harness through there. And then I will mount the mounting clip for the brake controller on the underside of here. And then I'll route the wires over there, solder them off, and fire up the truck, make sure obviously the thing's working, and before I put everything back together, and then put everything back together, and boom, I'm done. Okay, so I marked center, figured out where this is going to, this is hard to film with one hand. Okay, so there we go. So I wanted to make sure that the back of this harness was going to, this was not going to conflict with the wall back here. So now, okay, so it's on there. It's mounted on there, nice and solid. So now the fun part, get a drill bit and drill a hole. I gotta measure this, make sure I get the hole in the right spot so that I can run it straight through the back here. So I have to figure that out next, mark it, and then get a drill bit big enough for this wire to go through. So I'll do that next. Okay, I did a 1/8 pilot hole through there, and it just went through like 3 sections of plastic like butter. So I'm gonna widen it a bit. I'll get a larger bit next, probably right here, probably a quarter. Drill that, and then I'll go up to 5/16 after that. And yeah, I might have to go to 3/8, or I could possibly use this. We'll see. Yeah, so the nice thing about this truck is it's paid for. I own it fully, like it's not in a warranty or anything like that, so I can do this. Look at that, just like butter. Okay, so I actually ended up having to go all the way up to a 1/2 inch because the 3/8 bit, this wouldn't go through, so there we go with a 1/2 inch hole. Okay, I had to trim the other side of the grommet a little bit so I could get it in the hole or whatever, but it is in there now. And I just threw there and it is out. So now I just gotta route it over to there and solder it, and I can put everything back together. Okay, driver's side. So that is in there. And run it kind of up through here, up around underneath. It's up over the computer, so it should be fine. Get this ready to solder it, and then yeah, start testing it, and then put everything back, put it all back together, and then show you the finished product. Okay, so when I wired it together, I wired it with the same colors, and that's wrong. So good to know. I found a video on YouTube where a guy explained which one is which. This one's power. The blue one on the truck is the brake. Going to the blue one actually matches. That's, I think, the only one that matches. Goes to the brake for the trailer connector. So I've got blue attached to blue, and then it's kind of counterintuitive. The black goes to positive from the brake controller, the black wire from the brake controller, which is black here, goes to the red and green wire. This is a Chevy Colorado I'm working on, right? So I had the red on here before, I had it wrong. And the red goes to the stop light, which is actually on the Chevy Colorado. It's the 2016. It goes to the white and blue wire. So kind of counterintuitive, but that's how it is. And then, so yeah, so that's it. So it should work now. I fired it up and it wasn't working. Oh, look at that. Now I got some LEDs. Let's fire this puppy up and see if it actually works. Hopefully it works, and hopefully I didn't fry it because I had it wired wrong the first time. So yeah, it's actually working. So that's encouraging. Now I have to figure out how to do all the settings on it and stuff. Yeah, you can hear a relay inside there kicking on when I push the brake manually. Awesome. Okay, it's working. So now I'm going to put everything back together, get it all cleaned up, get it all nice and tidy, get all this put back together. Got my work cut out for me, so this is definitely a large DIY project. Heat shrink on there, and got it strapped there, and also got it strapped up in there somewhere. There you go. Yeah. So that is secure. I'm gonna grab this panel now and try to get that puppy back in. It's gonna be interesting. Never done this before. Here we go. Okay, so it goes that way. Gotta pull that out. Okay, that's in there. And this goes underneath. Okay, look at that. Clicks right into place. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. There we go. So that puppy is back in there. It's good. It's all, the kick panels all covers everything there. So that part's done. Next, it's put all the center console stuff back in. Okay, so I put this back in. There's a couple notches. This panel goes down into there, into the notches. And then there's like 1-2 screws, that's it, to hold that panel on the front. Now it's put this in next. There we go. Look at that. I think that's in place. Look at that, that's awesome. Okay, so I'm just putting these back in. I already got the other two on the other side. They're in the exact same spot. Just kind of get them started. I don't like using spinning wrenches anymore, so I just do that. It's way faster and easier. There you go. Okay, so center console, put a nut or a bolt down in there, and it's really awkward, but it can be done. I'm just spinning it in there with my finger to get a good start, and then I'm gonna have to tighten it the rest of the way with this, and then put a socket on here, or yeah, ratchet on there. there. So I'll just use this to get it all the way in, and then I'll tighten it with the ratchet. Okay, so that's nice and tight. So now just repeat the same thing on the other side down there. Okay, and now there's 2 on the back of the center console, 2 bolts. Done. And then the clip. Boom, done. So that's that side. There's this. It's gonna go in there. Oh, man. Move the seat back. And then it's got a whole bunch of clips on there that have to all be pushed into the center of this thing. There was a few screws I didn't show that go back in here. And obviously if you want to take the center console out or move it back, you just follow this in reverse. So you got 2 bolts here, you got 1 bolt down there, and you got another bolt down there. You got to get the clip out. You got to pop these side panels off on both sides. I don't know if you actually need to take these out because the whole thing slides back once you get it disconnected on both sides from these 2 and those 2 down there. I did pop this out. This all comes up, straight up. There's clips that go right in there, there, probably there, 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 and then down here, like somewhere down there, I think, or possibly up. Oh yeah, no, that other cover goes on top of there. So yeah, so that basically, if you can get something in there, plastic, to pry that, and then you can basically got to pull it up, and that comes right up and out. This comes right up and out. So yeah, I'm gonna put this in now, turn the camera off. Okay, so push this back down on there. Got the unit, center console unit, or whatever this is called, the entertainment center. It clicks in, there's a bunch of clicks, clips, or whatever that click in, you just push it in. Or no, there's actually 2, there's 1 here and 1 here, so you just line those up, push it on, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, just tighten those up. And then the center console, to strap it down a little tighter, there's 2 here, boom, get those down. And so that's on, that's on. Okay, so we need this one here still. So have a look at that. There's a lot of clips on there, and you just gotta line them up. It's really hard doing this with one hand. There we go, there's 1. Okay, that's all in place. Beautiful. There we go, so that's that. Then last, we've got this this unit, and there is actually a cable down here. I'm gonna have to put the camera down for this, but that clips in. There we go, clips in right there. So I'll have to go to the other side and do that use both hands to do that. So I'll show you after it's done. Okay, so I actually had to pull this out so I could push this down first. I connected that wire to the USB bottom there, and then push this down in there. So you can't get it past here if you don't have this out. So just pop that out briefly. Then we can put it back in there. There we go. It's all in place now. Everything's in place. Oh my goodness. That's a lot of work, guys. If you're considering doing this, and if you're just trying to do it to save money, like, go for it. But if you've got money and you don't mind hiring someone to do this, I would probably just hire someone. That's it. It's done. The Tekonsha Primus or whatever IQ brake controller is installed. The only thing I'm noticing here too is there's 2 LEDs that are on with the ignition off. So I don't like that, because that has the potential to drain the battery. Fire it up. Everything's working. Good. This thing appears to be next it's try it out with a trailer. Yeah, worst case scenario, I'll just drain the battery. Just disconnect it here. Okay, so now it's out. I can just put in my glove or down in here, whatever. Then it's just, it doesn't run the risk of draining the battery. Push that back in there. There we go. So there you go. That's the install. That's the completion. And I hope that helped you guys. And yeah, click like, thumbs up, subscribe. This is my DIY channel, and thanks for watching.